Hello. There. Half a day and Mananasi Zeus, many of God's blessings to all of you here this Christmas season morning, and very happy New Year to all of you here. We're here to do a very special presentation to the Guam Preservation Trust, and I see that there's a lot of folks here this morning, and I'd like to call the board members. Mr. Joe Kanata also. I think I see the chair, Mr. Mike McKeel and Dave Lotz here, and then I also see that they're a very small group and they have their staff here. So I'd like to call you guys up as well. Come on. You guys are usually behind the scenes doing a lot of work, so I want to make sure that you get recognized. I also have the executive director, Mr. Vince Ariola, here. Thank you so much for coming, and joining me is the good speaker, Speaker Wampat. Good morning, Merry Christmas. Thank you for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is resolution number 238-33, is introduced by myself, the speaker, Senator Frank Blas, Vice Speaker B.J. Cruz, and the rest of the members of the 33rd Guam Legislature, and it's relative to recognizing and congratulating the employees, the management, and the Board of Directors of the Guam Preservation Trust on the occasion of its 25th year anniversary, and to further extending an Dångkolo na situas masi to the Guam Preservation Trust for its work in the protection and preservation of Guam's historic sites, culture, and perspectives for the benefit of our people and for our future generations. Be it resolved by Untitled Chapter and Legislature in Guam that the beginning of the history of Guam and the ancient Chamorro society can be dated to over 4,000 years ago. Documented history of Guam's history and society began with the arrival of Ferdinand Magellan in 1521. This arrival signaled a tumultuous era in Guam's history and the heritage, with Guam's culture and society being influenced by many cultures, including Spain, Japan, and the United States. The many foreign influences created a unique heritage that can be seen through various artifacts, language, symbolism found around the island. There grew a need to preserve, protect, and document these vestiges of Guam's unique history. So on March 21st, 1990, the Guam Preservation Trust was created through Public Law 20-151 as a mechanism to fund and implement projects relating to the preservation and protection of historic properties and artifacts. In addition to its fiduciary duties, the Guam Preservation Trust purpose is to seek outside grants and donations to acquire title to threaten Guam properties, to award grants, and to support other activities related to increasing public appreciation and benefit from historic places. The Guam Preservation Trust is governed by a board of directors with the expertise in the fields of archaeology, architecture, Chamorro culture, Guam history, and planning. The Guam Preservation Trust mission is to preserve and protect Guam's historic sites, culture, and perspectives for the benefit of our people and of our future generations. Their vision is to have the preservation of Guam's history a public responsibility that is shared through education, cooperation, and advocacy, all linking to Guam's cultural heritage. Throughout the 25 years of their existence, they have contributed significantly to the repairing, rehabilitation, restoration, and renovation of many historically important landmarks on Guam, including the Analiangara House, the Cannons Project, the Charles Torresik House, the Fort Nuestra de la Soledad, the Hagatna Cathedral, the Kiosco, the M.G. Cook School, the Meleso Convento, the Plaza de España, the San Antonio Bridge, San Dionisio Church, the Talifac Bridge, and so many, many more. The Trust places equal importance of the preservation of traditional cultural values and oral history in taking part of the annual Guam National History Day competition. The Trust has also worked to provide a framework to protect endangered historic sites with the Safe Historic Pocket Village project. The Trust has supported projects to bring awareness of the importance of the historic Pagat Village through We Are Pagat documentary and the Plight of Pagat video. The Trust has collaborated with the University of Guam Micronesian Area Research Center to develop an archaeological database providing a tool of planners, historians, archaeologists, and other preservationists to better interpret Guam's history. The Trust is a founding member of the Asian American and Pacific Islanders Historic Preservation Caucus and has collaborated with regional partners to advance preservation in Guam and the Pacific region. The Trust has also developed and formalized partnerships and organizations in the field of historic preservation within the nation and region. In 2010, the Trust completed the rehabilitation of the historic Lahan House, which stands as a symbol of Guam's persevering heritage. The Lahan's House fittingly houses the Guam Preservation Trust offices. In fiscal year 2014, one of Guam Preservation Trust project included the rehabilitation of the Guam Congress Building, which will be completed soon and will house the legislature. Some other projects the Trust has worked on include the Historic Inalahan Revitalization Plan, the Guam Preservation Trust Symposium and Master Plan for 2013 to 2017, the Humatak exhibit, the first annual Mariana Island History Conference, and many, many more, like the latest one with I Am Chamorro. The Trust has completed so much work in the past 25 years relating to the preservation, protection, and documentation of Guam's history, culture, and historical properties. Therefore, be it resolved that Imina 33 na Legislaturan does hereby, on behalf of the people of Guam, recognize and congratulate the employees, the management, and board of directors of the Guam Preservation Trust on the occasion of its 25th year anniversary, and does further and extend an Dångkolo na Sidzuas Masi to the Guam Preservation Trust for its work in the protection and preservation of Guam's historic sites, culture, and perspectives for the benefit of our people and our future generations. And be it further resolved that the Speaker, certifying the Legislative Secretary, attests to the adoption whereof, and that copies of the same be thereafter transmitted to Mr. Joe Canetta, Chief Program Officer of the Guam Preservation Trust, and through the Honorable Edward J.B. Cavo and Magala Hinguahan. Ladies and gentlemen, this was duly and regularly adopted by the 33rd Guam Legislature and signed by our Speaker, Speaker Wampat, and myself, Senator Munya Barnes, as Legislative Secretary. I did kind of run through what Guam Preservation Trust has done all these years, is because a lot of times there truly are behind the scenes making sure that who we are as island people, what we do to protect and preserve, they're usually just behind the scenes and never get recognized. They're really the unsung heroes. And I'd like to ask the good speaker right now, as Oversight Chair of Culture and Heritage, to say a few words and then to do the official presentation to Mr. Joe and to Mr. Makio and the staff of GPT. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Senator Burns. It is, of course, an honor and a pleasure to present this on behalf of the people of Guam and the 33rd Guam Legislature. But, you know, and of course in recognizing you and the work you've done, everyone, as the Senator said, you guys are always behind the scenes, and I'm glad that she read exactly and listed all of the different projects, because a lot of people really don't know what you do. And there's a lot of things that you've done in terms of preserving and protecting our history, and especially even more so now, as many of our people are becoming more aware of who they are and are wanting to come home to find, you know, their roots and their identity, and especially with the most recent project that you've done with the I Am Chamorro, that a lot of people have really taken a lot of pride, or having that pride, you know, in terms of who they are. And I know your other project that we're hoping that you would continue with is to try to put in your registry, and in the national registry, of course, is Litektan, that we truly need to protect. I'm just so worried that we're going to lose a major part of our history if we don't do that. So with that, of course, it is a pleasure to present this to you. It's a small token of recognizing all the work you've done, but it's definitely something that will always remain in the history of Guam, because I know the senator didn't tell you this at the beginning when she read the number, but also when it was introduced. It was introduced when we were in session, and when we are in session, everything that's introduced becomes part of the legislative journal and remains in our history forever, so that people can go back and look at the work, that you have done. So on behalf of the people of Guam and the 33rd Guam Legislature, we want to congratulate you as you celebrate your 25th anniversary. I know I won't be here on your 50th anniversary, but others will be in recognizing, again, whomever our replacements are. But please continue the work that you do in preserving and protecting, our culture and our heritage and our history. Congratulations.
Yay! Yay! Oh, you have to say a few words.
Yes, on behalf of the Guam Preservation Trust board and staff, we're humbled, and we are honored, and most importantly, we're proud to be recognized by our leaders of Guam, that what we're doing makes a big difference, and what we're doing is meaningful to the people of Guam. We really appreciate, and we hope that we continue another 25 years, whether we're here or not, continue advancing historic preservation for our future generations. Thank you.